Hey, I believe we are live. Guys, I am excited to have you. We are going to do a quick 30-second countdown to get everybody in that wants to be here, and then we're going to hit it hard. I've got a great topic for you, so I will see you in just a second. All right, we're back. Guys, my name is Jordan Stanley Payne. I am the founder of Black Gold Trading in the Kingdom Center. And today what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about my favorite topic. We're going to talk about banking, investing, gold, and really how you can change your financial trajectory and create financial autonomy by doing things a little bit different than the norm. So it looks like we've got quite a few people on here. Guys, do me a quick favor. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Again, we love to connect people that are joining, that are in the same location. It's something that we do on every single call. If you are new to this channel, we do this every week. So we go live on different topics, all things investing, go real estate, we go alternative, we do gold and precious metals. We talk about Forex trading, the whole thing. So I'm excited for the topic today, and I'm excited that you guys are here. Got Paula out of Oklahoma. Got Adam on. It's good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be fun. It will. It will. Oklahoma. I'm going to have to come visit Paula. All right, guys, I digress. We are going to get into the presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. If you guys have any questions while we go through this, do not hesitate to post them up. I want to make sure everyone's Gucci. Everyone's good. So let's talk about banking. Let's talk about why I spent so much time and why I spent so much energy out of my life and away from my family and friends and even really work to focus on building a bank when Chase Bank is just down the road and Huntington Bank and Citizens Bank. Why did I do that? Why was I so passionate about this? So this came about right around the time when it was kind of the beginning of the year and banks were collapsing, you guys. Even before that, I was obsessed with concepts like infinite banking and, this whole like become your own bank and buying whole life insurance policies. Like that whole gambit that I went down was appealing to me. And it was appealing to me because of autonomy. So I got to a point, and I've been like this for a very, very long time, but I got to a point where I was like, I do not trust putting in so much time and effort and energy into building companies, into building wealth, only to keep it at an institution that I don't trust. How in the hell does that make any sense? Why would we ever do that? Think about it. And I want to ask you guys seriously, and you guys can post it down in the comments down below. Do you trust the bank? You can put yes or no. Do you trust the bank? What do you know about the bank? Serious question. What do you actually know about your bank? Next question would be do you have any idea who's running the bank? Beyond that, Adam says more than I should. That's fair. That's fair. More than that, do you understand what they do with your money? Joseph says no. So I'm probably very similar to you guys. I was like, wait a minute. I have no idea who's running this bank. I don't know who owns it. I don't really understand what they do with my money. All I know is that when I go and try to, I'll tell you guys a quick story. I went to go buy a car. It's a 1950 Chevy Fleetline, like fastback, this bitchin' car. I went to go buy it, and I needed $20,000 cash because they wouldn't do a cashier's check, etc. The seller was old school. And I went to my bank, and they're like, yeah, it'd probably take us between 5 and 7 days to get you, it was $20,000, $20,000 cash. I'm like, well, how much can you give me today? And they said about $1,000. That's all you have? Or like, that's the most that we could give you. And I was like, that's very strange. So I went to a second bank and they gave me 500. I went to a third, they gave me a couple thousand. Went to a fourth, they said no. Went to a fifth. This is all the same branch or same bank. just different branches. Basically, nobody had any money. And I was like, that's very, very strange. So I went back the second day. Finally, on the third day, I was able to get 20 grand out of about 5 banks. It took 5 banks over the course of 3 days to get 20 grand. Pretty shocking, right? Pretty shocking. So I want to go over some stuff with you guys. We've got on the left-hand side, we've got the bank. And on the right-hand side, we've got basically what I have built. And this is called Havilah. Havilah, if you guys go to Genesis, which is in the Bible, I believe it's chapter 2. It's at the very, very beginning. I think it's like Genesis 2:11 or something like that. Havilah. Havilah is the name for a location in the Bible, kind of by the Garden of Eden, that was very rich in gold. I also found it fascinating that within the first 2 chapters of the Bible, we're already talking about gold. That's interesting. So let's look at a comparison here. So the bank, what they do, in case you didn't know, is they primarily buy government bonds. Okay, cool. Well, that's somewhat popular. People have been doing that for a long time. A lot of these government bonds it's a 10-year bond, and it is paying 4.59%. For some people, this is outstanding. For some people, it's not outstanding. It's a 10-year bond, not a 12-month, a 10-year bond. Okay? Banks, if you keep your money with them, will give you anywhere between 2 and 4% a year. So here we got 4.59 minus, let's just go straight in the middle, 3%. Okay? So we've got what, 1.59? Is that what's left over? This is what the bank is doing. This is how the bank is making their money. Now, it is said that a bank can loan, for every dollar, they can loan it out 10 times. Okay, so they can loan it out. They can invest into stuff like government bonds. They're going to offer you between 2 and 4% a year. And they're making roughly 1.59% if they're doing it well. Here's the thing on the government bonds is, depending on the bond and depending how it's set up, it doesn't always pay you right away, right? Like sometimes it takes multiple years. These guys might be getting paid or getting paid back maybe somewhere like year 5 or 6 or 7. I'm not a government bond expert because it's a terrible ROI. So I could be a little bit off on that. Please give me a little bit of grace. So what started to happen in the beginning of this year, and this isn't the first time it's happened. If you guys go back through history, year after year after year after year, or occurrence after occurrence after occurrence, what we see is banks are becoming insolvent. What the hell does that mean? Not enough money to cover total customer deposits. Okay, so customers have deposited money into a bank. Those customers are supposed to be getting anywhere between 2 and 4% APY, and they have not enough money to cover the total. Guys, the bank, the thing that is supposed to have money, doesn't have enough money to cover the money that you've put in. Is this making sense to anybody? If you guys are watching this, you should start to get, your blood should start to boil a little bit at this point. That's okay. Let's keep on going. Okay? So banks start to become insolvent. We saw this this year. We saw this in 2007, 8, 9, kind of right in that range. And what's happening is that it used to be like these small banks. Let me switch this. It used to be these like smaller banks, And then we started to see like a little bit of a bigger bank. And then this last one, it was like some of the biggest banks on the planet, like billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. So it used to be like small. We're now getting a lot bigger. Okay? Because they don't have enough money. And this happens time and time and time again. Again, if you go back through history, you'll see a pattern here. Okay? So none of this works for me. And I'm not going to work my butt off to put my money here. That's for damn sure. The other thing that I started to realize is, like, let's say that I had a major expense. Let's use the example of a $50,000 tax bill. 50 grand I owe Uncle Sam. And let's just say that I've been a good boy and I've kept that money in a separate bank account. If I go pay that, that account balance is now 0. Yes or no? Account is now 0. I've paid it. I went and took the 50K. I sent it to Uncle Sam, the IRS. That account is now at 0, right? That money is gone. I will never, ever, 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 ever see that money again. Ever. No liquidity, all debt, says Mr. McCann, the Chicago King himself. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing good. Adam agrees. Cool. So I didn't like that. I didn't like this scenario where, dude, like, again, I'm working hard to generate the 50 and I put it in the bank and I saved it. And then something always happens and I lose the 50 and I start back at 0. I was really sick at starting at 0. So here's the biggest difference here is I started to study the flow of money. I started to study the banking system and whole life, AKA infinite banking, like that. And I liked the idea of infinite banking because it was somewhat generational. You could pass on that policy that would kind of compound and grow in value, and you could lend to yourself and you controlled it, you owned it. I liked that. There were some things that I didn't like about it as well, though, but I liked the concept of it. So over here, what we do is, number one, we understand the flow. A lot of people do not have a flow. What I mean by that is they don't understand the process of being intentional. Okay, so money comes in and they're like, cool, I got the money. And then they put the money in the bank, the money sits there or stands there and it just kind of doesn't do anything. Well, we really need this flow that is working for us with compounding. I think as Einstein said that compounding is like the 7th or 8th wonder of the world, right? So we need this reciprocity where when we're investing our money, we're seeing a benefit of it being placed somewhere. You guys on the same page with me? We all following? Cool. So anyways, flow. 2 is compound. 3, it has to be lendable. Like, I don't want to ever go to another bank in my life and them say, hey man, it might take me a week to give you your money, if they even have it. I don't want that. I need lendable. And I need lendable somewhat quickly. Okay? And then number 4 is kind of goes along with compound, but it's going to be growth. So this is what I needed, and this is what I wanted to build. So how this works with gold, I'm not going to give it all away to you, but I'll give a lot of it away from you. What we do is we have money that comes in. We determine an appropriate flow. Most likely, this is just going to be an example. You will be different. Everyone's unique. But let's say that there is a percent that goes to pay your taxes. Great. There's a percent to buy gold. Say that there's a percent for, I don't know, miscellaneous. Depending on how you set this up, there could be a percent for like your monthly expenses. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a split when this money comes in. And we're going to be very intentional about this. And we're going to get money away from us and our access as quickly as possible. So a lot of times what I would suggest is like, this is an account. This is an account. This is an account. On the buy gold step, what we do is we buy physical gold every month, every week, every day. I mean, how often do you have money come in? I get paid twice a month. You're buying gold twice a month. Well, how? It's really, really simple. You can pick up a phone and do it. I can show you how to do that. You can place an order online, but you're buying physical gold. It should take you 4 minutes. It's actually cheaper to buy gold than it's less time intensive to buy gold than it is to like go shop on like DoorDash very quickly. The physical gold is stored at a facility. Okay? Great. When it's stored at the facility, we are able to lend to ourselves. Okay? So you don't keep the gold. There's a very specific company that will keep the gold for you, and they will allow you to lend to yourself. They do have a threshold. Basically, like if you go buy $7 worth of gold, it's probably not going to be worth their time to create like the loan documents. So there's a threshold. You can lend to yourself 75% of the value. This is where it gets really fun. Before I do this, I want to make sure, are there any questions? Swan Marketing, what's up? Is this really live? It is really live, my friend. How are you? If anybody has questions, was I not sharing my screen? I apologize, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. That is my fault. I do apologize. So what we do is we have a flow of money. When money comes in, we have an account for taxes. We have an account for miscellaneous. We have an account for expenses. On the gold portion of this, this is where the banking comes in. We're buying physical gold. We're storing it at a facility. We're lending to ourselves, 75% of the value. And then the rate is prime plus 2. Who knows what prime is today? What's prime? I'm going to use an example of 10%, right? Cool? Same page, everybody? Same page, everybody? Cool. So this is where we're at. It's again, let's use the example of 10% annual, which is 0.8% a month. Your obligation at this point is to pay interest only. You're paying yourself, essentially, but it is interest only, 10% or prime plus 2 annual. Okay? What questions do you guys have thus far? Jordan's drinking a beer. You know, I don't want to live in a world where I can't drink a yellowback and talk about the government and banks on a Thursday afternoon. No, are there no questions? Like you guys are crystal clear. You could go out and do this tomorrow. Crystal clear. I could go do this myself tomorrow. I'm gonna keep on drawing, and then I'll come back and see if there's any questions. So I want to use the example of, let's just say that you pulled out 50,000. You lent yourself 50,000. This is where this gets really fun. Without going really crazy into like a lot of like calculator work. We built some technology that can produce about 3%. Let's go with 1% a day. 1% a day. And it is doing that, it's trading. So it's doing that about, let's go 22, 264% a year. Okay. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. And this compounds, so it's actually significantly higher than 264%. Your obligation is 0.8% a month, interest only. And there's different options for you. And this is, the bot is one example. Trading, we make a lot more than 264% a year. You guys get my idea. You could do a lot of different types of investments. So the whole goal here, what makes this thing work and what makes this thing better than whole life is your obligation is 0.8. What's 0.8? 0.8, I'm sorry, it's 10. You have 10% a year, you're making 264. Now what we want to do in this situation, guys, is we want to do principal and interest. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making a payment to ourselves. And let's just say that we decide to do, instead of 0.8, maybe we do 1.5% a month. I don't know, whatever you're comfortable with. But you're going to start making a payment. What happens when you start paying down the loan? Is there a minimum of amount of gold? Yes, there is. There's a threshold. When you say putting taxes into an account, where is that account? Depends on where you're comfortable. Depends on where you're comfortable. Ideally, at the end of the day, I would like everything to be in one account that is essentially gold. For a lot of people, that's not realistic immediately. For a lot of people, they do need to at least leverage a bank for a short period of time, okay? Like obviously, like your expenses, be it utilities and cell phone and insurance and your mortgage, etc., a lot of those are kind of rapid paced. I've gotten to the point where I can just do one loan a month to myself and cover all of my expenses. Therefore, all of my money can go into Havilah. Okay? You won't start there. So you probably do need to use a bank for a little bit of time. Is it a bot or is it manually doing the trading? The only manual thing you have to do is click withdraw when you want money on the bot, on the AI. Is this better than a self-directed IRA? You tell me. What restrictions do you have on your self-directed IRA? You can't touch your money up until 65 years. It doesn't compound. You don't make interest on it unless you invest. It's not physical or tangible. So in my opinion, this is better. Okay? What happens when you start to pay down the loan? I want to remind you, every single month you are buying more gold. However many times a month you get paid, you'll be buying gold with a percentage of that, because we're going to be very, very, very diligent about our flow of money. Broke people have no flow of money. Wealthy people have a flow of money. If you ever want to be wealthy, guys, you are going to have to figure out, how do I build a flow and a plan for my money? So let's say you get paid on a Wednesday, every other Wednesday, every other Thursday, you buy gold. You put money aside for taxes, put money aside to pay for groceries. This is your flow of money. If you don't do this, guys, I'm telling you, you're screwed. But here's what happens. Two things. Number one, you're buying more gold. Number two, you're paying down, because again, your only obligation is 0.8%, and you're making, or 10% a year. You can make up to 264% a year, so you're paying this down. This is called, you're creating margin. Margin. What that allows you to do is lend more. So this allows you to lend yourself more often, more often. You still pay yourself back, absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to not pay yourself back because you don't have the gold. Gold's at the facility. You've got to pay yourself. Questions? By creating margin, you can do multiple loans a month. I know people that can do multiple loans a week because they're always creating margin. That's what you want. Is this going over people's heads? Like, are we comprehending? I want to make sure that everyone's clear on this. You own the gold. Back to my example here. Remember when we paid this $50,000 bill and we never saw this money again? If you had lent yourself that $50,000 from your bank, guess what? You would never lose the 50K in gold, would you? That's why this will never get you free, and this can. Okay? Same scenario, But I lent myself from my own bank, I lent myself the 50K to go pay that tax bill. I still have 50K worth of gold, right? I don't lose the gold. I didn't go take the gold out of my safe, give the IRS gold, and lent myself. My obligation is 10% a year. Make sense? So that is it. Now, this might look very complicated because you guys are looking at my chicken scratch on a whiteboard. This might look complicated. It's actually very, 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 very simple with step-by-step, how do you do it? So black gold trading, what that is it's a system that incorporates banking, trading. We trade 2 to 4 times a week, not a day, a week, right? So we trade, we make really, 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 really good money trading. We have a bank, and we also have a bot. We leverage technology to trade for us 24/7. I don't think you guys will be able to see this. Maybe you can. I mean, I don't think you guys can see how many trades. I am in all of these trades right now on my bot. So even while I'm educating you, I'm making money. This one's $20 profit. This one's $8 profit. This one's $1. This one's $3.87. This one's $12.60. This one's $10.11. This is while I'm training you. This is while I'm sleeping. This is while I'm playing with my kid. This is while I'm going grocery shopping. So when I talk about black gold in the system, it's not just banking, it's not just trading, and it's not just a bot. It's an entire flow of money, because what I do, and this is where it gets really, really fun. Is everybody, can I go through this with you guys? Is everybody still in tune with me? Everybody still here? I don't want to go through this if I've lost you. If you guys are completely bored, I will save it for another day. So you use gold loan money and loan to yourself for personal expenses. The rest goes into investments. Nailed it. Nailed it. So check out the info. Yeah, we've got training on all of this, guys. Paula's on board. So this is where it gets fun, and I wasn't prepared for this, but I will show you just a rough example. So let's say I have 25K. This is going to get really deep into the flow of money. And this is how you can make tens of millions of dollars if you do this right. What I do is trade. Okay? My trading produces an ROI, obviously. The ROI goes into Havilah. Havilah goes into the bot. The bot produces a paycheck. Okay? So this money is being leveraged and utilized 1 time, 2 times, 3 times before I get my hands on it. So it is earning here, it is earning here, it is earning here before I get a paycheck. It's pretty cool, yeah? There's another thing that we do, which is it's called a PAM account. And this is where like our master trader, his name's Tim, will trade for you. So say you don't want to trade, but you want the benefit of somebody that's been doing this for like 5 years. You can do that. You know, to the tune of up to 30, 40, 50% in a month. Okay? So this is one flow of money. Let me show you another one. Let's do one over here. Here's another option. 25K. And then you go from here into a PAM. PAM stands for percentage allocation management module. Take your proceeds, you trade. And then you go into Havilah. Then you go into the bot. The bot produces a paycheck. So my money is earning here, let's call it 40% a month. Trading, we average anywhere from 30 to 60% a month. Havilah doesn't technically earn you interest, but it does act as a bank, etc. And the bot is roughly 35% a month. So we've got pretty damn good flow. Most people, I'm going to end with this because I don't want to lose you guys. Most people, they don't have any sort of return on their money. Here, 40%, 30 to 60%, 35% before I took a paycheck. Guess what we do with this paycheck? Percentage of this goes back into, now we do the flow of money again. Mind blown, mind melted. This is going to be available as a replay on the channel. Absolutely. Can this be done with less than 25K? A lot of this can be done with less than 25K. 20K is a pretty standard threshold for the gold banking, like being able to lend yourself. But the PAM account and the trading and the bot can all be done with significantly less than 20K. And then you can use that to go into the gold and build your bank faster. You do that, absolutely. What other questions, guys? I'm done with my presentation. I know that this probably looks insane to you, but again, we've only been talking about this for 31 minutes, and this is probably a new concept for most of you. So don't get down on it. Admin is throwing up the members.kingdomcenter.biz. That is where our free networking community is. We have our own bank. We have our own social media as well. So if you guys are not a huge fan of Facebook or YouTube or Instagram because there's distraction, ours is distraction free. Go check it out. It's completely free to join that. I train in there multiple times a week. Is the 25K into Havilah first, then into other avenues for more converse? Not exactly sure what you mean. My point in showing you guys this was there's multiple ways to earn on your money multiple times before taking a paycheck. Yeah. Some of you guys might go PAM, bot, trade, and then put money into gold. Some of you guys might go gold, trade, PAM. Like it depends on where you're at and what your goal is how I advise people. I never advise the same two people the same way. It's all unique. Final questions. I hope this made sense. If nothing else, I want you guys to take away from this call that you can be financially autonomous from a very, very, very corrupt industry. You can be autonomous from the multi-billion-dollar corporations where if they screw you over and they gave you the two middle fingers and they say, you know what, we've decided that we're just going to go ahead and be done with this whole paying people back. We're going to go ahead and take a government bailout, or we'll file chapter whatever, bankruptcy, and we're just going to give you the finger. If you want to become autonomous from that, and if you want to build something that can be generational, because you can transfer these accounts to kids, you can even split them and have multiple accounts. I have 3. You can do that. If you want to be completely autonomous, I can show you how to do this with decentralized finance, where you never, ever, ever even touch the US dollar. Well, how do I pay my stuff? I'll show you. Final questions. Everybody good? If you're good, I'm going to go. So speak now or forever hold your peace. As always, guys, we will be back next week on Thursday live with another live training. I highly recommend you guys put this on your calendar. It is the same time every single week. It is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a different topic every week. It's all centered around being better investors and becoming financially autonomous from the system. But it looks like everybody is good. So I appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week. If not, I will see you guys in the app. Before then, much love. We'll see you soon.